I'm delighted that my guest today is Frank Porretta, the tenor who's singing the role of Canio in our production of Pagliacci. Frank, welcome.
Thanks.
Good to have you back. It's been a while. 2002, you were here singing the Duke in Rigoletto. I know a lot of our audience probably remember that production. I want to ask you, because sort of watching and hearing about your career since then, you were doing the Duke. Now we see Otello, Samson, Canio. That's a big adjustment. Did it all happen in that time, or was it happening then? I mean, it's an adjustment in terms of vocal quality, darkness. Those are bigger roles. They're more dramatic roles. What happened? Can you describe it?
Well, it's nothing happened. I mean, you know, when you're a young singer, they want you to go light, light, light. Be careful, be careful. You know, and so you do. You go light, 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 and you're careful, and you do roles that are lighter because they say, "Oh no, that's for later in your life." Right. You know, be careful of Otello. It's going to widen your middle and shorten your top. Who said that? So the question is, what was happening when I was doing Rigoletto was that I was, you know, trying to do this, and I personally
straitjacketing the voice in a way. Maybe
it was the last Rigoletto I did. I didn't do another one. I went almost immediately into larger rep. It's just that's where my voice was happiest and most comfortable. And, you know, even that Rigoletto was cast rather large. We had some great voices.
That's right. I remember that.
Maureen O'Flynn was the Gilda. She was, for my money, one of the greatest Gildas ever.
She was wonderful.
And, but her voice is not that silvery soubrette. It's a slightly darker and rounder, more voluptuous color. Yeah. Even though still in the soubrette range. Right. I love her singing. And Mark Rucker.
Mark Rucker was the Rigoletto, of course.
Crazy.
You know, to die for.
Crazy. And of course Jeffrey Wells. Yeah. You know, I mean these are not voices that are anywhere light. These are quite robust sounds, and so I fit in there better than I would have in a traditional Rigoletto. So I got away with it. It was good. And it was fun to sing. And someday, who knows? Maybe I'll go back to it. But
now you feel very comfortable in an Otello and a Canio, which you're singing for us.
Much.
It's just your bread and butter.
Yeah, it's what I do. It's what I do. I do the big Verdi and the big Puccini. I probably do Otello, Turandot, Forza the most.
Wow.
Tosca also. And Tosca is one of those that can go either way. You can cast it light and lyric, or you can cast it big and robust. Right. So it's one of those that everybody should really be singing.
Of those roles, is Canio up there? Do you love singing Canio?
Oh my gosh!
And acting it?
The interesting thing about Canio is yes. The simple answer is yes. It's a freaking fabulous role. I mean, this thing is so gritty.
Yeah.
That having been said, there's a lot of nuts and bolts to Canio. It's a very jerky sort of melody line. It's lots of tritones jumping up and down. It can be vocally awkward because it's so explosive so often. More so in a shorter frame than Otello.
People tend to judge, general opera audiences that know the opera would probably tend to judge the role based on the aria, which is very different from what comes before the aria and certainly what comes after.
Well, singing the aria by itself is one event. Singing the aria within the context of the piece is a whole other event. So,
well, you have to ramp up.
Well, well, actually, you pull back for the aria.
Really?
You've just had a monstrous explosion where you almost want to go after her with a knife, and you're yelling and screaming, "Infamia! Infamia!" and then Tonio comes over and starts planting all the seeds of maybe revenge, etc., etc., and you're sitting there in kind of a wad of post-rage sweat.
Yeah.
And you begin Vesti la Giubba, and it's not rage that you're experiencing at that point. It's the despair that you're in this place. And it goes to an entirely different color for everything, for your acting, for your voice, really for your heart in that moment, because in that moment you are alone. It's your soliloquy.
But it's not a moment of repose vocally.
No. not at all.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of intensity than the furor that goes on really pretty much throughout this opera. He's always like on the verge of just blowing a gasket.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, it's just a tremendous despair at the paradox of his life, that you're going to laugh even though your heart is breaking, it's poisoned.
Yeah.
And it's tragic, really. The sentiment is itself tragedy.
Yeah.
And
no, I don't think there's any better depiction of dramatic irony than in this very concentrated piece, where the whole piece is about that. It's just gut wrenching.
Yeah,
I think
and
the experience of it.
This is probably the fifth or sixth Canio that I've done, and Andrew has decidedly gone as dark can be with his character.
Uh-huh.
So this is a tortured fellow, and more so in this production than I've experienced so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, the physical production. Have you ever done this physical production before?
What do you mean? This actual
This set?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So this is new to you,
Yeah.
which is relatively traditional. I should have known that, because actually it's ours, and I don't think it's traveled. I'm not sure that it's been rented by any other company. So it's unique to us, but it is a beautiful production. I think you'll see once it's up.
Oh yeah,
because you guys are still in the rehearsal room.
Yeah, we're still deciding how rowdy it gets. I mean, I think there's still a few things to work out.
Yeah.
We sort of stumbled through the bulk of it, but we're going back now and making more fine decisions about it.
Of the other roles, do any of them compare in terms of the intensity that is necessary in this compact period of time?
Well,
a one-act opera that's about 80 minutes, 90 minutes.
Right.
And you never really leave stage much.
No. I mean, because of the length of the piece, it has a lot in it in a very short sequence of time. The highs and lows, very much like Otello, highs and lows.
Yeah.
But with Otello, there's a great deal more music, and those highs and lows are spaced out a little bit more.
And you have a little time off stage.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, you have a couple of arias that you don't have to be on stage for in Otello.
2 intermissions.
Yeah, if you're lucky. Usually one these days.
Oh, really?
The last several Otellos I've done, there's just been one.
Wow.
And I think people are trying to keep the costs of the orchestra down and all of that.
Sure.
Everybody has those concerns.
Right.
But this is just, it's a lot, it's dramatically a sprint. It's a lot in a very short space.
Yeah.
And you want to finish strong with it. Because, I don't know, there's a lot of killing.
You've got to.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. You've got to finish strong.
Yeah.
So, pity the poor tenor who has no energy left when he comes on stage.
Well, the good news is that it is shorter.
Yeah.
And so it's not like Otello where your last and final big deal comes 3 acts down the road.
Right.
And you're already sweat through your first 3 costumes, and you're getting ready to do the last big heave.
Would you share with us a role perhaps that you're working on that may be coming down the pike?
Well, there have been a couple of discussions. Werther was suggested.
Interesting.
I've had some inquiries into the Wagner repertoire, but that's a big step.
You haven't done any of it yet?
No. I'm thinking, before I get too deep into the Teutonic music, I might try something nice, light, and non-committal like Bacchus.
Yeah.
Something where I can just go see how that feels.
Yeah.
And, so that's a possibility.
And for our audience, that's Ariadne.
Ariadne auf Naxos.
By Richard Strauss. It's a short role. You walk in at the end and sing a gorgeous duet with Ariadne. And a few lines on your own. And
a few lines on my own, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
But it is a treacherous role, as I understand it. It's somewhat robust.
It's where it lies too.
Yeah.
I think as I recall. I mean, we haven't done Ariadne, I don't think, here, and certainly not in my time. But it seems to lie in a really tough place for the voice.
They all lie in a really tough place at one time or another.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Well, best of luck to you. I know we're all thrilled that you're back and looking forward to your Canio and looking forward to this opera. As I've been saying in all my interviews, I think it's really exciting that we can just focus on Pagliacci.
Yeah.
Because it's such an exciting piece, and I think it gives you all an opportunity to spend more time on it.
Yeah.
You know, than having to worry about another piece, whatever the other piece is.
Right. I've seen some interesting pairings with it.
Carmina Burana.
Yeah. I was and Skiki, which actually
yeah.
worked extremely well. Did that in Cincinnati. I thought it was a marvelous balance between something so dark, something kind of light.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
But you didn't do the kid in Skiki.
No, I did not. No, I did not. But the good news about this is that you can go to the opera, get the full bore, dramatic, heavy experience, and then go out for dinner.
There you go. Exactly. Thank you, Frank.
All right.
Take care.